When we think of some of the most iconic and recognizable brands from the last 100 years that have stood the test of time, there are only so many to choose from, like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Lego, and Disney. But there's one product that is thought to be found in 4 out of 5 American households that solves over 2,000 problems. It seems that everyone in the Western world knows what a WD-40 can looks like. It's under everyone's sink, in everyone's garage, and in everyone's toolbox. It's a petroleum-based lubricant that fixes those squeaky doors and hard-to-turn bolts. But even though WD-40 is one of the world's most recognized brands, very few people know about its history and why the company is even called WD-40 in the first place. In this video, we'll examine the history of WD-40 and share the story of one of America's greatest exports. Here's how it happened. Before it was WD-40, Norm Larsen, one of the 3 members of staff at the Rocket Chemical Company in San Diego, California, was attempting to create a substance to prevent corrosion on metal. The prime use for this substance? Well, the Rocket Chemical Company, believe it or not, made chemicals for rockets, working specifically with Convair, an aerospace and defense contractor who made missile covers to prevent Atlas missiles from rusting. Since they were intercontinental ballistic missiles, they'd likely be sat waiting to be used for a very long time, and hence it was critical that they could be launched at a moment's notice and not be rusty. But what's the best way to prevent corrosion? It's done by displacing water. Norm Larsen failed over and over trying to perfect this formula, and after failing 39 times, on the 40th attempt he mixed the perfect recipe, and hence WD-40 is just water displacement at the 40th attempt. The recipe is similar to that of the KFC mix of herbs and spices, top secret. The company even decided against patenting its product to avoid disclosing how the liquid is made, and the secret remains securely locked away to this day. But how did this rocket liquid end up in households all around the world? Well, whilst Convair had the first version of the liquid, their employees decided that the product had numerous uses, and started to sneak the lubricant home in their lunchboxes to use around the house and garage. Hearing about this, Norm Larsen then started to experiment, putting lubricant in an aerosol can in 1955. 3 years later, and the Rocket Chemical Company worked alongside an aerosol packager to take the company across America and commercialize their product, with the first cans on San Diego shelves in 1958. By 1960, Rocket Chemical Company had 7 employees, almost doubling in size to help with sales. The new recruits sold cases of cans from the boot of their cars, selling on average 45 cases per day across San Diego. In 1961, they filled their first truckload of cans to fulfill an order for Hurricane Carla on the US Gulf Coast to help to recondition vehicles and machinery that had become water damaged, and even sent soldiers in the Vietnam War WD-40 in their care packages to help keep their weapons in good condition. By 1965, the Rocket Chemical Company stopped making all their other products to focus exclusively on WD-40, and 4 years later, under their new president John Barry, they hit $2 million in sales and officially renamed their business after their only product to become the WD-40 Company Inc. John Barry, a brother-in-law of one of the 3 founders, helped WD-40 to continue its growth, using marketing strategies he'd learned throughout his career, like sending out free samples, being present at trade shows, and advertising in magazines. The company's growth eventually led to the one-product business going public, listing on the Nasdaq in 1973 and rising by 61% on the first day of trading. 10 years later, and the company reached $50 million in sales, and by 1993, the business had sold $100 million worth of product, as well as being listed as one of the top 10 most profitable companies on the Nasdaq exchange. Over the years, the one-product company has launched a range of similar lubricants, all with slightly different features, including the Big Blast, Easy Reach, WD-40 Bike, the No Mess Pen, and the Smart Straw, the product that was designed to resolve one of WD-40's few but frequent complaints of losing the red straw. The brand now boasts over 100,000 members in its fan club too, many of whom recount some amazing uses for their beloved product. It's not just used to protect tools from rust and stop squeaky hinges, as some of the craziest uses include a bus driver who used the spray to remove a python from underneath the bus, and policemen who used the lubricant to remove a naked burglar who was trapped in the air conditioning vents. So that's how a company with just 3 employees designed a product that has over 2,000 uses, employs over 450 people worldwide, with annual sales of around $400 million and a market cap on the Nasdaq of $3.2 billion. All that after failing 39 times, and failure is why WD-40 succeeded. Thanks for watching.